Drake is the suspect of the murder of XXXTentacion? I know, right? It's shocking. It's been 4.5 years since the late singer XXXTentacion, also known as José Onfroy, was murdered. Apart from Drake, many others were also suspected. One of them is Dedrick William. This month, he will stand trial for his suspected involvement in the murder. Recent motions by Drake's attorneys to testify have fueled ongoing rumors that Drake was somehow connected to Onfroy's passing. In this video, we will get to know about Drake is suspected to be the murderer of XXXTentacion. And does this supposition have any basis in fact? We'll explain why some people think it does, and it's up to you to make up your own mind. Drake, 30, was already a well-known hip-hop icon when XXX debuted on the Billboard charts in 2017. X was only a teenager, but he had experienced a traumatic childhood that had shaped him into an adolescent with a troublesome mentality. As a result, Onfroy got into numerous fights at school and eventually found himself in legal trouble. After serving a year in a juvenile jail facility, he began to take his music seriously in 2016, but a misunderstanding led to him slashing his manager, Tables. Onfroy was thankful that Tables dropped the charges, but the soon-to-be famous rapper quickly resumed his bad behavior as he took part in a home invasion for which he was ultimately sentenced to 6 years probation. However, not before he was charged with a separate domestic assault crime and falsely imprisoned his then-girlfriend, who later pushed to have the charges dropped. X claims that while he was imprisoned, someone informed him that Drake had been impressed by his music and that the Canadian rapper had contacted a mutual acquaintance to say that he would get in touch with his manager soon, implying a potential partnership or at the very least a significant business connection that would greatly advance X's career. In the end, Drake decided against contacting anyone and instead dropped the song KMT. The up-and-coming rapper X's song Look at Me, which was immensely popular on SoundCloud, was immediately criticized by X's fans for Drake allegedly stealing X's style. In response, X insulted Drake on Twitter and said that many people already knew that his biggest song, Hotline Bling, was a parody of Dram's Cha Cha. Onfroy insultingly remarked that Drake's mother was attractive and could get it as well. In an interview with 103.5, the beat that he gave soon after being released from prison, X talked about his struggles, his desire to improve himself, and his music. Also brought up was his disagreement with Drake. I don't think he's a man. Instead of being a he is grabbing and running off with it, putting it on his record, he could have earned my respect by demonstrating his genuine interest in the culture. Drake was questioned about the similarities between his song and X's in an interview with DJ Semtex. Although others support X's claims that Drake tried to contact the rapper, Drake asserted that he observed what people were saying and was compelled to find out who X was. This directly contradicts X's claims that Drake had previously heard his song. Whether it is the cadence or the rhyming pattern, Drake stated, "I see where people draw this similarity off of the first two lines. To go and think that I'm gonna take that and make it my own. I'm not stupid," he later continued. "I'm not a shit person." True hip-hop enthusiasts find Drake's claim that he would never take another artist's song to be nearly ridiculous. Just ask Soulja Boy, Big Scene, Too Short, Rapping Forte, or any other artist Drake's record label ultimately chose to compensate $100,000 to for borrowing his songs. In his response, X emphasized that Drake was lying when he said he didn't know who he was, and that this essentially proved that he had to lie to get away with copying his music. He had already mocked Drake and some of his buddies in videos he had made on Instagram, live addressing the subject. In an interview with DJ Academics, X said that Drake had tried to sacrifice him. "The same way he saw me as a business opportunity, I saw him as one as well." He then took the opportunity to express regret for disparaging his mother, stating that his previous statement had gone too far. He emphasized that Drake had exploited the cadence from his song, though, and that was wrong. In January 2018, Onfroy declared his intention to launch the Helping Hands Challenge and stated that he would be giving several items to a foster home. He exhorted everyone to show kindness. Many believe Drake was playing a troll when he did this since, unlike X, Drake profited on the movement by creating the song and music video God's Plan. Drake then urged his fans to be good to one another. However, when addressing it, X had surprisingly favorable things to say about Drake. Then, in February 2018, XXXTentacion shared a brief statement on Instagram with Drake, whose Instagram handle is @ChampagnePoppy. "If anyone tries to kill me, it was at Champagne Poppy," stated X's message. Eventually, the post that accused Drake of planning to murder him was taken down, and X provided an explanation for it by stating that his Instagram had been hacked. Drake soon released a song called "I'm Upset" in which he raps, "SMS, XXX, that's the only time I shoot below the neck. Why you keep on shooting if you know that he is dead? That's only type of shit that gets you some respect." People believe that Drake was endorsing XXXTentacion's IG post when he mentioned XXX, the rapper's nickname. Later, when X was killed by a shot to the neck below, this statement was used even more frequently. The Miami rapper, then 20 years old, put out his album on March 12, 2018, while his popularity was at an all-time high. On the Billboard album charts, it made its debut at Number 1. Tragic events occurred shortly after XXXTentacion's arrival. Onfroy took out $50,000 in cash in the late afternoon of June 18, 2018, and put it in a Louis Vuitton bag. He went to a motorsports store in Deerfield Beach, Florida, but he had been observed there, and it appears that he left without making a purchase. As he was speeding off, another car raced up to block him. Two men then hurriedly got out and held Onfroy up with a revolver while stealing his Louis Vuitton bag full of cash. One of them turned around and shot Onfroy 6 times as they made their way back to their car. He was rushed to the hospital, but at 5:39 p.m. he was declared dead. 4 men were eventually detained in the weeks that followed for his murder, but despite their apparent lack of connections to Drake, rumors that the Canadian musician was somehow involved only intensified. Drake's 5th album, Scorpion, was released a week after Onfroy's passing. Drake lives true to the song's title and raps about having connections to the mob and his ability to knock anyone off in Mob Ties, one of the album's songs. "It's too late for all the lovey-dovey shit," he raps. Some listeners took this to mean that he was alluding to X's positive words following Drake's visit to Miami. Drake also raps, "GLE 'cause that Lamborghini moving fast. Class, G-Class, Lotto Class. In a rocket and that bitch ain't got no tags. Louis bags in exchange for body bags." However, Drake is not supported by any solid evidence. Although it is possible to argue that he was being dishonest when he said he didn't know who XXXTentacion was or that he was being vindictive during the incident, that does not prove that he murdered Onfroy. Drake, though, doesn't seem entirely innocent of rapping about it, at least if you think he is actually alluding to Onfroy in his lyrics. Drake allegedly once told DJ Academics that he believed XXXTentacion to be his only genuine rival. Some supporters even claim that Drake would consider doing anything to beat out his rivals. However, it seems evident that the killing was a part of an opportunistic robbery in which 4 men followed Onfroy after he withdrew $50,000 in cash. Regardless of your opinion of this terrible tale, most people would probably agree that Drake making public boasts about his connections to the mob was not the best course of action. So, what do you think? Is Drake guilty or not? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.